Alright, listen. Don't forget to come back for me.
As long as you're not dead, Fred.
It's Frank. Frank West. Remember that name, because the whole world's gonna know it in 3 days, when I get...
CJ has to bet, and he's also dumb. Even though he's blind, he's not very fun. He has his own talk show, it's every gamer's dream. It's a crazy little talk show, and it's called Cookies and Cream.
Hey there, it's Cookies, and Dead Rising still, to me, is one of the fondest gaming moments of my entire childhood. With a premise paying direct homage to Dawn of the Dead, to the point that Capcom Legal had to get involved and shove this on the box cover. What appears to be a generic ripoff on the surface actually evolves into one of the most charismatic, engaging, and dynamic video games I have ever played. With the recent news of a deluxe remaster to the remaster of the original disguised as a soft reboot paying homage to the 2006 beta designs because the gaming industry is absolutely special, I decided to put my Outlast Trials video on hold and discuss why Dead Rising is a title still worth visiting today. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and if you don't, dislike and describe why your time in Willamette was filled with constant game overs. First and foremost, the setup needs to be addressed. We play as upcoming photojournalist Frank West, who has one of the coolest names I've ever heard, and also has covered wars, you know?
You know how to use this?
Kinda. I've covered wars, you know. I've covered wars, you know. I've covered wars, you know.
You know, you're a little high-strung for a guy who's covered wars.
Hey, I've covered wars, you know.
After going off the deep end to pick up a story of something strange occurring in the rural Midwest, the military forces us to take a leap of faith.
Say, buddy, you mentioned something about research for a story.
That's right. Got a tip that something big's happening.
In a nowhere little town like that? They sure didn't mention anything about it on TV.
Yeah, well, I'm freelance, pal. I don't make my living waiting for the TV to tell me what to cover. All right, listen. I want to get shots of the whole town before the National Guard finishes roping it off. Take me over the main street.
What is that? Some kind of riot? Holy shit! Did you see that?
Hey! Can you get me on the rooftop of that mall?
You gotta be kidding me! Man, you are nuts.
All right, listen. Don't forget to come back for me.
As long as you're not dead, Fred.
It's Frank. Frank West. Remember that name, because the whole world's gonna know it in 3 days, when I get the scoop.
All right.
Whoa! Shit! Get us back down to that rooftop!
I know I'm gonna get my butt chewed out for this one. We're going down.
We run into a select group of survivors trying to barricade zombies from the outside. Of course, this horn dog gets distracted, and all hell breaks loose. Instantaneously, this title shows us the zombie threat as hundreds swarm, killing people off left and right.
Everyone, move this way! Quick! To the stairs! Move!
Fast forward, we get to the safe room, have a brief convo, and boom, we now have to survive in the mall for 3 days and hope that our helicopter buddy comes back for us. Don't leave us here. The setup and presentation are fun as the mystery evolves over the course of each day, but Frank West as a character is an absolute riot. I mean, he witnesses all this carnage and even so decides to jump into the unknown. What starts off as an arrogant journalist who will go to the ends of the earth to capture his story.
Damn. You're one hell of a journalist, aren't you, Frank? A hot-headed, underhanded, hotshot paparazzi with nothing better to do than to invade people's privacy.
I try. You got a point?
Manifests into someone who empathizes with those he's witnessing suffer, and ultimately changes his perception by the end of the game, turning from someone who only wants the scoop for fame and fortune and notoriety, to someone who wants the scoop to help those impacted by it. It's not a revolutionary topic, or even themes that are, the grandest we've ever seen in the industry, but one that we see play out in real time over the course of the game in a way that eventually makes you root for the guy. With the evolutions of the plot under wraps at the start, we are barricaded in the main security room where all of our cast of survivors and main pieces will stay. We can save our game, go outside to the helipad for ambiance, and look at all of the survivors we have saved, which we'll get to momentarily. The central hub allows major story beats to progress and offer a sense of home in this playground of destruction, especially with the time limit. Oh yeah, this game has a fucking time limit. Since the pilot told us 3 days, that means the game clock is constantly ticking down, meaning every second you spend in one way or another is precious as we need to be at the helipad ready to go, no bullshit. Makes it fun as our pal Otis, one of the security guards, will radio out to us to notify us of anything he sees on the cameras worth looking into. Meaning if you don't get to these cases soon enough, you will miss out entirely, which is an added pressure your first playthrough that makes every action tense. Want to stop at the grocery store for food? Well, that will take time off the clock, meaning you won't have as much time to dilly-dally in the stores or chase other potential leads. It's a simple mechanic with dramatic implications to the game's runtime, and I love it. As much as the supporting cast you run into within the mall. There are survivors throughout your time you can attempt to save, and they all have unique stories, backgrounds, and motives. You may run into a man with an injured leg hoarding scraps of food, tourists who only speak Japanese, which if it isn't as clear as day, our guy Frank does not. Come to think of it, Frank West is quite symbolic of the naive westernization of American culture in the early 2000s. But I digress. Even an older gentleman who wants to spend his final moments surrounded by art and collectibles. Not only is every survivor scenario interesting and original, but every case may require unique solutions that will test your critical thinking in real time. Those tourists who don't speak English? Find an upgrade book that allows you to speak generic phrases in their language. Convince that older gentleman that he has more life to live beyond the objects in front of him. Or lend that injured guy a helping hand through the hordes of the undead. Every case is different, and with the threat of the timer always going down, this means you will need to react in real time with a sense of urgency that was new for open world zombie games in this era. And the level design in this title is as horrifying as it is fun and rewarding. The mall is mostly open to you from the jump, meaning you can go in any direction you please. First-time players will tend to follow the main storyline, and in between cases go off on their own. Through your time, you can do hidden objectives to open more of the area or create shortcuts to ease travel, cause Otis won't catch everything on the cameras. But in a nutshell, this mall becomes your playground. Early on, as Frank West is heavily arrogant with his mission, we as the player will treat each zone like a playground, collecting objects to use as a weapon by any means necessary with some fun to be had. That was the tagline for this game. Everything from machetes, dishes, teddy bears, and much more is what keeps us going, which is needed as every area is a giant puzzle piece with smaller puzzle pieces known as zombies filling the void. Take this screen for example. We want to get to point B with dozens of zombies in our way, even hundreds. With this knowledge, we have to rely on stores to separate us and keep our distance, with the objects within to give us that advantage. Perfect example, that umbrella becomes a battering ram to close distance and keep you protected. Again, with that time limit, every object is seen in another light. Even the most mundane items have a use. Food serves as health, and even the weaker items can be combined in blenders to make special abilities, like super speed or the ability to spit fire, cause video games. Upgrade books and magazines can be picked up to give you an edge with weapon durability or health percentages from foods. Every area has its own distinct feel. Wonderland Plaza for the kiddies, Entrance Plaza for the standard shopping, Alfresco Plaza for more eccentric food and items. Even further is the interaction in each area. Want to run on treadmills to level up? Go for it. Want to try on some dresses and wear them in cutscenes? Have at it. Maybe use your trusty camera to take photos of anything you see from a kiddie roller coaster. Oh yeah, you're a cameraman. Have at it, playa. Here comes the money. So you get the fundamentals. You follow a main story, have dozens of optional objectives and hidden details in the world to help you level up. How do we progress our skills? Well, this game has some light RPG mechanics which makes every interaction worthwhile. Experience in this game is known as prestige points, aka PP, and I love some PP because, again, video games. As you take more and more PP, you level up and will gain new moves, abilities, and upgrades. More life, inventory, speed, throwing distance, and more will be raised at random, meaning you'll never know what upgrade is next, further incentivizing interaction with each element of this game, because everything gives you more PP. Taking photos, killing zombies, saving survivors, defeating bosses, experiencing the main story, interacting with the game world. It's these long lists of simplistic interactions that breathe life into this game and are elevated by that fucked up time limit system. Which goes a step further as every day the zombies get stronger and populate more of the space. Nighttime zombies are even faster and much deadlier, making the first day arguably the most intense as you are still an early level. The game, even in the final hours, will find more ways to surprise you, which makes the Willamette Mall the gift that keeps on giving. Every single scoop you get, or time you step out of the security room, means something wild as fuck is bound to happen, and that's what we're here for, baby. All that PP. Making the overall design philosophy of this game a horror puzzle with action elements. Trying to find methods to obtain everything in a single playthrough is near impossible your first time. It becomes a game of Tetris with time, as we work out the most efficient routes to see all this title has to offer. And this game has fun with traversal, as every day that goes by means you will find more unique methods to get around even the most cramped of locations. I mean, the first time experiences are a blast, as this game never runs out of M&Ms. Memorable moments. The first time I realized I could wear a Lego hat and have it on in cutscenes. First time I reunited loved ones and kept them alive. Or even the first time you walk into the park in the daytime, giving that training for how to run through zombies and cut corners like we're an NFL wide receiver, making you an absolute pro by the end of the first day. Even at nighttime, as we bring more survivors back to the safe room, like the bona fide badass we are when nothing will step in our way.
You missed, loser! Get your aim right, brother!
Alright, looks like we found our next contestant!
We're gonna take out that dude and snatch his old lady!
And this is what elevates Dead Rising to legendary status. The game has bosses, also referred to as psychopaths. With the events of the zombie outbreak closing in, we also see the ramifications of what this does to the human mind. Some of the most iconic sections of these games are in those encounters, which are all the more terrifying as in most cases you'll never know when they are bound to pop up. You could just be walking, minding your own business, heading towards a case that's about to expire, and then bam, cult of yellow jacket we all float down here looking motherfuckers are worshipping or some shit, and 2 minutes later, bam, you wake up butt-ass naked. Fuck, I love this game. Or even a clown that has gone belligerent on laughter.
Stay away from there, Gramps! Huh? Everyone used to laugh at me. I was a walking punchline. But not when the zombies came, everyone died. That's why I decided to give all the happy people a lift on this fun ride. I won't let you stop the ride, Gramps. If the ride stops, then the zombies come back. And that won't be any fun at all.
A grocery store manager obsessed with theft prevention.
You came to vandalize my store, huh? Not on my watch!
Someone's been hurt. I need medicine.
Hurt! That's just what this bitch said when she came to vandalize my store! I don't take kindly to vandalism. I won't allow it! Listen to me, and listen good, partner. I don't allow vandalism in my store!
A veteran relapsing into PTSD.
soldier!
You can't tell me, can you, fella? Oh yeah, I know why. It's because you're Viet Cong. I'm right, aren't I? You are nothing but a filthy communist! You, son, are gonna tell me where the gorilla's hideout is. By the time I'm done beating information out of you, you are gonna be begging for death to come take you away.
A lot of these psychopaths are immediate shock value, with unique movesets that force you to get creative. But at the end of the day, as the hours add on, they tend to ground us away from that arrogance of the opening hour. Especially with the escaped convicts that will end your run again and again and again.
Reel it in before I keelhaul ya! Oh no.
Cliff is one of the clearest indications, as what begins as a creepy as fuck murderer turns out to be a soldier who snapped after watching his kids get eaten by the undead.
You. Over there. Here. Take this. My granddaughter. She was done in by those damn zombies. When I heard her scream, I just lost it. Everything went white suddenly. The war, it wasn't over. Not for me. It never ended.
Having lost his mind until Frank puts him in his place. These moments forcing us to realize the depth behind the stories we've been capturing on camera. Yes, Frank has covered wars, but he never lived in one until now. Frank leaped off that helicopter chasing a dream, the story for fame. But by the end of this journey, through every hour spent, we aim to leave with a narrative that honors all the innocent lives lost, telling the truth in spite of the corruption that plagues this town and beyond. It's a powerful story with sensational boss encounters that contrast the dark comedy this game engulfs itself in to powerful effect. Kent is another great example. A photographer like Frank we meet on day one who challenges us each day to a competition on who can snap the best shots. If we meet up each day and freak him up, then on the third day he will have us sit and watch him infect someone in real time. Until we step in to save this innocent. There's also a secret cutscene if you skip out on day 3's meeting, but go play the game yourself, it's freaking frackin' wild. After a fight breaks out with this pompous jackass, he hands us his camera to take a photo of him on his deathbed, which Frank disgustingly rejects. Frank faces what he was, and understands the wrong he himself has caused, and how to rectify it for the sake of the story. Powerful writing for a game that lets us dress up in our boxers. Yes, I too went to college. And here's the thing, all this is fine and dandy, but there are also numerous endings to be had and extras to unlock. You don't have to follow the case files, as you can skip out on them entirely. If you want to focus on survivors, only you can. Want to just kill zombies? Sure thing. Miss out on the helicopter on day 3? Well, we have an ending for that. This game has numerous conclusions, and even a unique system where, say, if you die, you can reload from your last checkpoint, or start the entire game from the beginning with your current level and skills to make future playthroughs a tad easier. This game's sandbox allowed freedom in ways that became a staple for zombie games to come even a decade later. There's a New Game Plus, an overtime mode with a secret ending, an infinity mode where you try to last as long as you can with dwindling health replacing the time limit. This game is creative freedom with a George A. Romero skin, and I love it. I guess what I've been trying to say with this video, Dead Rising was one of those lightning in a bottle experiences at the dawn of the Xbox 360. The dark comedic tone is an essential pairing to those sparse, sincere moments throughout your time at Willamette. Moments which force you to reflect on the unsettling nature of consumerism in the United States, the fragile alliances we rely on in dire times, the semblance of family built to withstand the forces of nature humanity inevitably tampers with, and all of which can be experienced from the comfort of your boxers. Dead Rising is a special game, unlike anything else out there, and does George A. Romero's legacy proud. With a journey you can fight through in nearly any way you want, that creative freedom is the definition of gaming with a purpose. So don't freak up the soft reboot remaster of the 2016 remaster, which was quite good, alongside the original Capcom. You've been on the money lately, so I'll trust the process. Right now, can't really do any wrong in our eyes. Oh, and fuck off with your pointless microtransactions. Okay, thanks, bye.
Well, let me tell you, I am doing fine. Look to my left and you'll see where I tried. Look to my right to see the crimes. Look through my past and you'll see all the lies I lied, and why I'm justified. Justified. And
Have you played Dead Rising? Are you interested in the deluxe remastered name, which shockingly isn't going to change? Comment below and let me know the vibes. As always, it's your boy Cookies, signing off.